think it was Sowore who called Wike the golden boy of the judiciary because he bought exquisite houses for the judiciary. He gave them high-end cars. You look at this issue of Godfatherism. I think there is Godfatherism in the executives, in the executive arm of the government. There is Godfatherism in the judiciary as well. And Wike does not only wants to control the executives, he is in control of this judiciary and the legislative body. I read the other day that he is preparing his son to come as a legislator. Wike is a lawyer, obviously, but Wike is not a successful lawyer. So the only way that Wike can find his footing is in political toggery.
Unfortunately, what is happening in Nigeria is despicable in terms of Godfatherism. Every sitting governor, when they're about to go, they want to handpick somebody who will succeed them. Not only handpicking somebody who will succeed them, but also continue to exercise maximum control over that sitting governor, undermining his executive powers. They want to appoint the mini commissioners for him. They want to appoint the advisors for him. They want to lay hands on the coffers of the states, both the internally generated revenue, the one coming from federal government or wherever any revenue is coming from. They want to be in control of that. They are claiming to be godfathers, not in the interest of the masses, but in the interest of their pockets. So what is happening in Rivers State currently now, we know the main actor on stage. Well, I don't know his title now. Honorable Minister Nyesom Wike. He is the minister in APC. He's a card-carrying member of PDP. He has his one leg in APC. He has his one leg in PDP. Soon, he will be an honorary member in the newly formed party, ADC. Everywhere you mention is Wike. The other day, he almost fought an army officer, a soldier that was whether legally or illegally posted to a duty, but probably his superior sent him there. Wike almost fought him. He was everywhere. So he is in charge of Rivers State. He's in charge of FCT. He's in charge of Oshu State. He's in charge of the governor of Bauchi State. Bala accused him of trying to foment trouble. The other day, I learned that he went to Imo State. He wants to impose some Daddy Anyanwu as the APC candidate. He is not a card-carrying member of APC. In fact, PDP, they suspended him the other day. He said they can't suspend him. He's everywhere. The other day, he made a comment about Oshu local government funds that were with him, that he played a role, that the judiciary, that was why the judiciary gave the decision they gave. And so it's quite interesting to know what actually this man did to him that warrants his kind of behavior, that he would not allow a sitting governor to govern the state. What is happening in Rivers State? If he's in a place where things work, Wike should be answering some fundamental questions in the hands of the law enforcement agencies.
Good evening and Happy New Year. We are delighted to have you again in this year 2026. From our team, your team, and everybody, including you as part of the Glasscast podcast team. So we have our regular Glasscast anchor here, starting with the elder, the son of Glasscast, the dog himself, Oscar and Liam. Oscar, do you want to say, what do you have to say to our followers, our subscribers, our listeners in this new year?
I just want to say Happy New Year to each and every one of our subscribers. Thank you so much for being a valued member of Glasscast Podcast. We are happy again to start in 2026, and I know you would continue to engage with us. And stay tuned. Today's discussion will be engaging, entertaining, educating, and explosive. That's what I have to say.
And I believe, Maz, for some of you who have been following our recent conversation, you know that Maz have strong views about certain things, but he doesn't take it to heart. It's just for analytical purposes. So, Maz, I don't know.
Just as Dr. Liam said, welcome to 2026. If you're watching us today, that means you made it to the new year. So stick with us. We shall all see each other again in 2027. But let's ride on with podcasts. Glasscast Podcast this 2026. Thank you very much.
Ride on with Glasscast podcast this 2026. And for you to have made it with us to this date and more dates, more days, more weeks, more years to come, we'll continue to give you what we know how to do well. Give you those analysis that is really informing and allowing you to decide what you think is the right thing to do. Coming out of 2025, we had a lot of gifts that were given to us, and most recently, the American president Donald Trump even gave Nigerians a Christmas gift. Interesting. And January 1st, our dear president, the able president Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also gave Nigerians a special gift in terms of tax and how it is going to be operated to the best interest of Nigerians. Again, talking about President Tinubu, around Easter last year, 2025, he gave some Nigerians important gift, especially if you are from Rivers State, you would understand how important that gift is. Bringing the retired military General Colonel Ibas through the declaration of state of emergency. That was the Easter gift that the Rivers people had last year. And it's beginning to look like the Rivers people in Nigeria are going to have another New Year gift from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We don't know if it is going to be Ibas this time or the other person that was telling the minister that he has integrity, that is the officer of the law. So we don't know who will be coming this time. But we have to be careful so that the president will choose wisely what works for the Rivers people. So on this note, I want to welcome us to this explosive edition of Glasscast podcast, where we would address the issue of political Godfatherism in Nigeria. It may interest you to know that among every other thing that Nigeria has proven notoriety on, political Godfatherism has since 1999 has been the foundation of many problems, many political atrocities that has been committed against the Nigerian people. And it is important we begin to look into political Godfatherism, the consequences, the effects, and the implications in the life of the people of Nigeria. What is happening in Rivers State today is not new. If I take you back from 1999, it has always happened in every state. I'll give you the example of Anambra State, where a sitting governor in the person of Chris Ngige was locked up in toilet because of issues with political Godfatherism. You take it to Abia State. The sitting senator, Eyinea Baribe, had his own share of these problems as a deputy governor under Governor Ojiuzo Kalu. In fact, he was lucky to leave the stage on time. I think he's smart enough. But the other person that came after him, Chima Nwafor, he didn't, if you go and check the history, you know that it didn't end well with Chima Nwafor in Abia State. Do you want to talk about Kano State, the Kwakwasia and the Gandola? Or do you want to talk about Lagos State, the Tinubu and the Ambode? Or do you want to talk about Edo State? of Adams Oshomole and the immediate past governor. I will give you counts, even in Imo State. Today, people said, oh, he came from being third to become first. But you have to know the politics that led into that. The activities of Owele Rochas Okorocha. Political Godfatherism is a pandemic in Nigeria. And Nigerians, the question is, what are you doing about it? So today, we want to look into this disease, political disease that is destroying Nigeria. And we want to center our analysis in the recent case of political brouhaha that is going on in Rivers State. And we want to get your insight while we draw our own analysis from the studio. So on this note, from all of us and the crew behind and from you, we want to say, welcome to this important episode. I promise you, it's going to be explosive, like the elder said. Without wasting too much of our time, let's get into this discussion. Elder.
Dr. Eze, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your analysis and introduction is quite captivating. And from what you have read out, I think if we continue to look at them, we probably may not end this podcast. It will take us hours and hours. But let us narrow down to what is happening currently, like the New Year gift that the Rivers State people are about to receive. Unfortunately, what is happening in Nigeria is despicable in terms of Godfatherism. Every sitting governor, when they're about to go, they want to handpick somebody who will succeed them. Not only handpicking somebody who will succeed them, but also continue to exercise maximum control over that sitting governor, undermining his executive powers, undermining the fact that he is the chief executive of the state, the chief security officer of the state, undermining all his executive powers. They want to appoint the commissioners for him. They want to appoint the advisors for him. They want to lay hands on the coffers of the states, both the internally generated revenue, the one coming from federal government, or wherever any revenue is coming from. They want to be in control of that. They are claiming to be godfathers, not in the interest of the masses, but in the interest of their pockets. So what is happening in Rivers State currently now, we know the main actor on stage. Nyesom Wike, make no mistake about that.
We are coming to that.
Former minister, well, I don't know his title now, Honorable Minister Nyesom Wike. He is the minister in APC. He's a card-carrying member of PDP. He has his one leg in APC. He has his one leg in PDP. Soon, he will be an honorary member in the newly formed party, ADC. So he's quite annoying, and I don't know how he gets away with all these kind of things. Wants to be in control of everything. Everywhere you mention is Wike. The other day, he almost fought an army officer, a soldier that was whether legally or illegally posted to a duty, but probably his superior sent him there. Wike almost fought him. He was everywhere. So he is in charge of Rivers State. He's in charge of FCT. He's in charge of Oshu State. He's in charge of the governor of Bauchi State, Bala. Accused him of trying to foment trouble. The other day, I learned that he went to Imo State. He wants to impose some Daddy Anyanwu as the APC candidate. He is not a card-carrying member of APC. In fact, PDP, they suspended him the other day. He said they can't suspend him. He's everywhere. The other day, he made a comment about Oshu local government funds that were with him, that he played a role, that the judiciary, that was why the judiciary gave the decision they gave about that issue. So, Wike is everywhere.
He's influencing the judiciary.
He said it by himself. So it's quite interesting to know what actually this man did to him that warrants his kind of behavior, that he would not allow a sitting governor to govern the state. You cannot even, I've never seen that kind of godfatherism before in even the ones you mentioned in Nigeria. At some point, the godfathers left and you say, you know what, I have lost, let me go. But this man has refused to let go. He has refused to, allow the man, let the people of Rivers State enjoy peace for since, when was that election? Was it not 2023? Since 2023, he has never allowed them to have peace. He's never allowed the governor to rule. He has cornered all the House of Assembly members. I don't know, to be honest. It's quite annoying. I've never sounded this emotional or this angry on this podcast, but what is happening in Rivers State, if he's in a place where things work, Wike should be answering some fundamental questions.
Wike should be answering some fundamental
in the hands of the law enforcement agencies.
Yes. So Wike should be answering some questions in the hands of the law enforcement agencies. If you're a Nigerian, what do you think about this? If you are from Rivers State, what do you think about this? Because this is a very important question we need to ask ourselves. And I believe Mazi will have something to say here.
Yeah, I think it was Sowore who called Wike the golden boy of the judiciary.
The golden boy of the judiciary.
Of judiciary. Because he bought exquisite houses for the judiciary. He gave them high-end cars. You understand? And when you look at this issue of Godfatherism, I think there is Godfatherism in the executives, in the executive arm of the government. There's Godfatherism in the judiciary as well. And Wike does not only wants to control the executives, he's in control of this judiciary. And the legislative body, I read the other day that he is preparing his son to come as a legislator. So when we were growing up, whenever you come abroad to study, they will say that you failed the JAM. That those who come abroad to study are those who failed, who were not successful.
But it's a fact. You don't go to America to study. There were those who couldn't get admission in UNN.
Exactly. Exactly. So the reason I'm trying to say this is because Wike is a lawyer, obviously, but Wike is not a successful lawyer. So the only way that Wike can find his footing is in political toggery. That's why he entered there. So you called him his attitude despicable. What is he's a despicable individual. He wants to control everything. At the end of the day, whatever he is doing in Rivers State is not to the benefit of the masses. That one is obvious. It's not to the benefit of the masses. I don't want to start listing some of the things before you reach to that end. But as far as I am concerned, Wike shouldn't be present in Nigerian political landscape.
Well, if you say Wike shouldn't be present in the political landscape, there's something I want to take you on, because you are a renowned lawyer. And where you said that Wike is not a successful lawyer, I want us to throw more light into it. Is it that he never won a case in court, or he's not a well-trained lawyer, or is he maybe speaking from both sides of his mouth, or he's being economical with the truth, or in what aspect?
Can I say something before you come
okay.
back? Do you know if Wike is enrolled in England or Scotland in the law society, he would have been derobed?
He would have been derobed.
Why?
Because of his behavior, because of his attitude, because of his behavior, the way he talks.
Yes.
He's not fit and proper to be enrolled in the law society of Scotland.
Ethically, he's not sound.
He's not. They cannot accept that kind of character in their list as a practitioner.
As a politician, Wike is obliged under the rules to declare his assets. Do you know his assets today? Wike, that's absolutely Wike was accused of concealing the funds that was meant for the cleanup of
Ogoni land.
Yes.
Don't go too far. How can you be a PDP in PDP and be a minister in APC government?
Exactly.
Can that happen in America? Can that happen in the UK? If it's in the UK, they will remove the whip from their feet.
Exactly.
Even the fact that you voted against government on a particular issue that the government says this is where we are going to vote. Your party, not even their government, even if you are in opposition, they said on this matter, we are going to vote in this direction, and you go against it, they remove your whip. Exactly. Wike is in PDP, fighting PDP. He scattered PDP in the 2023 presidential election, singing, dancing like a madman.
Exactly.
All over the places. Agreement is agreement. Agreement is agreement. Is this a party he belongs to? And after that, have you seen the video where he said, I will never.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. He said he will never leave PDP.
I took the word away from you, but let's stay on what you asked. He's not a successful lawyer. He is not fit and proper to bear that title of a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Exactly. If he's in a reasonable climate, I'll tell you that for free.
I think Doc has answered it.
Well, you could see how this conversation is going, but I believe I don't know what Wike's position should be, but if you look at from what you said about what happened in PDP, agreement is agreement, and if you, I have followed a lot of conversation, and one thing you should also note is that Wike is the only minister in Nigeria that holds press conference more than the president.
I don't know who is the Minister for Information. Wike is in the media more than all the ministers. So talking, holding media chat like you said. But continue what you're saying.
Among all the ministers, even more than the president, even more than the governors, he's the only minister that holds media chat almost monthly, gathering all the media houses in Nigeria and addressing them. But one thing I found in Wike is that he believes in keeping agreement. If you have an agreement, you keep to your agreement. And because if you analyze what is happening in Rivers State today, it looks like the current governor have not really been keeping up to his agreement with Wike, which led to his removal. For about 6 months, they reached agreement. They went to the president, he reached agreement, and it looks like he's not still keeping to that agreement, and that is why it is haunting him.
Let me say this by way of joke. Okay, Bakassi said he was talking to Governor Fubra. I said, Governor, in the last 1 year, so many things have happened. You were the governor, became a former governor, and became a governor again. Who knows what you become? You maybe become a former governor. You asked me a question. Let me ask you a question. You said Wike is the one who believes in keeping agreement, and he said he has agreement with Fubra.
Yeah, if you check,
has he ever opened his mouth to tell us what is the content of that agreement before we start analyzing the legality of that proposal? I'll tell you what are the valid ingredients of an agreement or a contract. But have you ever had Wike say, this is what I agree with Fubra, and he's not abiding by it?
He can't say it because it's an illegal agreement.
No, he asked me a question.
Yeah, but if you look at political agreements are not usually made, open to the public because it's political.
So, what makes you think that there was an agreement between him and Fubra?
Well, they have said it.
Wike said it, and you believe Wike whatever he says.
Well, he's a politician. Although if you are believing the words of a politician, you may be making mistake. Like when you said that Wike would never, like the way
he said I would never join APC.
The way I think APC was described as a.
He said APC is a cancer. One PDP is malaria.
So that is a politician for you. You would think in a normal circumstances somebody can say that and stick to that, but politicians, one thing that remains.
Can you speculate? Give an idea of what you think that content of an agreement might be. Can you speculate? Let me take you on that. Can you say, okay, this might be the thing this man is not complying with the sitting governor? Can you just say, okay, maybe they agreed on this or agreed on this?
At least on the side of Fubara, I can speculate that the agreement is to make him govern.
Yes.
On that side.
Yeah.
But I don't know what terms.
I don't know.
On certain terms.
So what are those terms?
Exactly. The terms is what only Wike and Fubara knows.
No.
Yeah. But but if you look at what is playing out, you can begin to have a feel, even though you are not definite about the content of the agreement, but you can begin to have a feel of what that agreement.
What are you feeling? What is it there? What is your intuition telling you?
I am seeing the area of Wike trying to take control of the State House of Assembly.
Good.
I'm seeing the area of Wike trying to decide who becomes commissioner.
Right.
And I'm trying to see the side of Wike trying to play the role of what happened between the the Obas and the Ngige in 2000.
Let me help you. The Major 10 is who is in charge of the coffers of River State.
So that is where I was coming to.
Don't say anything about it. That is the main agreement. Every other one is the money, the dollar, the dollar money. Wike even said it himself. He said everybody is interested in River State politics because of the money.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he is interested in the money there. You mentioned Wike should the issue of appointing who becomes a commissioner, appointing the appointments. Do you know the powers of the governor under the constitution? If you're talking about agreement, yeah, given that they had this agreement, would their agreements override the content of the constitution or the provisions of the constitution?
Well, if you are putting this question to me,
I'm not putting it to you. I'm saying that whatever agreement they have, that he will decide who becomes the commissioner, he will decide who gets what. It is the powers of the government. No matter the agreement you have with him, if he doesn't comply with it, you go home, lick your wind, and count your costs. You don't expect a sitting governor to start breaking the law because of an illegal agreement he had with you. One of the ingredients of an agreement, a valid agreement, is the legality of purpose. Exactly. The purpose upon which you are contract, you agree upon, has to be legal. I cannot contract you to go and kill somebody and expect you to abide by it. That tomorrow I come and say agreement is agreement. Exactly. Agreement is agreement. It doesn't work that way. That's why I said if he's in a place where things work, they would have
removed him.
They would have invited him. Come and tell us this content of agreement that you have with this man. That you will not allow him to exercise his powers and duties as a governor. Unfortunately, I do not have sympathy for the sitting governor, but I'll come to that. I don't have sympathy for him, but like I said, I stay on the law, what the law says. You cannot be agreeing to go and steal and carry the revenue of a state that belongs to the masses. Because all these things we are talking about, Wike has no interest of anybody at heart.
Why don't you have sympathy for the sitting governor?
Okay, why I don't have sympathy for sitting governor? Why should I have sympathy for him? When you are making a deal with the devil, what do you expect?
The reason I have nothing against him is because anybody that goes against Wike is my man. That's the reason I don't have anything against him. In as much as he's going against you,
you need to throw more light on that.
I thought we were listening, but it seems that we never agree on anything. Okay, let me tell you why I don't have sympathy for him. Yeah. There are facts. There are allegations that they rigged election against Peter Obi massively in River State.
And he was part of it.
And he was part of it.
Okay, Fubara.
Yes. Part of it. Was he not the person who was also campaigning to become governor then? So all the atrocities they committed in 2023 election, they were partners in crime.
But he was campaigning to become governor of Rivers State and vote for the governorship. They are not included in the presidential vote.
No. To the run up to the election for the presidential election. You know the presidential election comes first.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that he worked against whatever Wike did in the presidential election?
I seriously doubt.
Remember, Wike made that pronouncement that when the election comes, he will tell his people where to vote.
Good.
So he became the emperor of that election, and he was making this bold statement, and he lived up to his statement and make sure that those things were achieved.
So let me finish my point. Yeah. Why I don't have sympathy for him. It's a case of two robbers. They have gone to rob. Come home to share their loot. And they're now having problem. They couldn't share it amicably. And they want us to start sympathizing with them. It doesn't. I don't have that kind of. I can't draw any sympathy from any bank to give to Fubra because they are partners in crime. Now, because he's going against him, they want us to come and support him.
And you know, one thing I hate about this Godfatherism is that it throws merits out of the window.
Exactly.
You know, because if not for the so-called agreement and Godfatherism, I believe that Fubara might not have been the governor.
I don't think Fubara is even if without Wike, Fubara cannot be the governor.
Exactly. Cannot be, and probably Wike thought that he's somebody you could pocket
yes.
and did everything to make him governor. And the man is now, as a man, he wants to show that I can do something,
exactly.
that you can't just pocket me that way. Exactly. And that is why all these problems are coming out. If Wike would have thought that this man has the strength, the guts to challenge him or to say no to anything he says. I don't think Wike will never. Wike, I know the way he talks, the way he behaves, maximum ruler. He wants to be completely in charge. I don't think he would ever think of making this man governor.
But in Nigeria generally, is there a particular state? Is there any sector that Godfatherism is not in? There is none.
Yeah, because
if you check what is happening even in Abia State today, the Carlos have been fighting Oti because they saw it that the issue of Godfatherism has been taken out of them. So they want to do anything and everything that is possible to make sure that they reinstate Godfatherism in that state.
And when Ojos Akalo was the governor of Abia State, it was the notoriety was so pronounced. The information is out there. We're not making things up here.
Yes.
We know the roles that the Mova played in that area. I think Abaribe said it was a goosey pillar. And
that was why he had problem with his deputy governor.
Yeah, Abaribe.
Yeah, because he wanted to control. Yes.
Yeah. So, but when you look at this, people call Wike Emperor Wike, and if you look at what has happened, in Rivers State, even from when Wike was the chairman of Obiakpo local government, and when he was the chief of staff to Rotimi Amechi, and when he was the minister for state for education under Goodluck Jonathan, and when he eventually became the governor of Rivers State in 2015, and if you check the politics that took place all those while, even in national politics, in state politics, in building bridges and all these things, you will see that Wike is a political stronghold in Nigeria. Don't you think that Wike is a great man?
You see, what you just said now is just like somebody, what Westerners do. They call somebody like Alexander the Great, they call him great. They don't call him great because he acted in the interest of humanity. They called him great because of the number of people he unalived. You understand? So that is where the great man of Wike politically comes from. So when he is great in terms of his political thuggery and becomes successful with those political thuggery, he becomes politically great. So as far as I am concerned, Wike is a successful. The producer said we shouldn't be calling names here, otherwise I would have called him a despicable name. He's successful in the political thuggery he has been doing. That's why we said under a civilized environment, he would have been stripped of whatever legal what do I call it, legal qualification that he has. He's not great at all.
Yeah, but he's. I know you want to say something. I want to throw more light before you go into that. Remember, aside being an individual, Wike is a politician, and one of the principles of political power is that you use every instrument within your reach to acquire political power, and use the political power to settle every rising issues within. So what he is doing in terms of playing politics, this is somebody that single-handedly destroyed the almighty PDP.
In other words, you are saying that the end justifies the means, according to him, using all political means
to gain power. Yeah. All these political means are even the ones that are against the law. Excuse me. You can commit crime to gain political power. Yeah, that is good.
That is the usual political ideology that people have about political power. You use anything to get political power.
That's why I said in a normal society, he should have been somewhere answering some questions of the illegality he has committed.
Exactly. Remember, he was caught on record threatening the lives of people who go against him during the P2B presidential election.
He said openly by himself that he is the one who bought all the nomination forms, all the House of Assembly members. He bought all the forms for them and made them members of the House of Assembly.
You see?
Is that representation?
That's not representation.
Is that being strong?
Is
that representing the people?
That is the height of corruption.
Is that being great in your understanding of being a great man, a great politician?
Well, if you look at it from the political point of view, that is what political achievement implies.
No. Political,
That's what I'm thinking.
No. I read a book by Gordon Brown. He's called it My Life, Our Time. That book by Gordon Brown. He itemized the essence of political power. What you should use political power for to better the life of people.
Yes.
You might not agree with them. They may not vote for you. But once you acquire that political power, the onus is on you to use it to better their lives.
Exactly.
Not to use it for your personal interest, not to use it for your personal gain, not to use it to, be terrorizing people. Nowhere.
Practically. Yes.
That's what he said, the essence of political power. So he has acquired political power. Since he became a minister and became a governor, still terrorizing Rivers State. What is it that the Rivers people are benefiting from him? Except he gather them, give them more money, and they'll be singing for him.
Exactly.
What is he still doing in Rivers State to benefit them? He's the minister of the FCT. And he should focus in FCT to do whatever he wants to do there. But leave Rivers State alone. He has been a governor for 8 years. You mentioned he was former local government chairman, Obiakpo local government. He was
Chief of staff.
Amechi. They said Amechi saw his behavior. That was why he sent him to Abuja. Yes, that was why he nominated him to Abuja. He went there and started fighting when Goodluck Jonathan was president. And that was how they fell out with Amechi. It was Amechi who nominated him to become the minister. You are aware?
See?
Yes, because it's the governors who nominate from the ruling party, nominate the people from the state to go to the center. So Amechi saw his behavior is
and decided to do away with him.
So he was sent to Abuja. Unfortunately, Amechi fell out with Goodluck Jonathan, and it was him that they used.
Exactly.
In Rivers State.
And how is another point I wanted to make is that in line with what you have just said, how is trying to impeach the so-called Fubara that he reached his so-called agreement with, how is trying to impeach him to the benefit of the indigenes of Rivers State? Because I understand that impeachment has put a pause on the budget, 2026 budget, that was supposed to have been read by Fubara. Now that thing has not been read.
Yeah, but that is a political game. Like,
exactly, caused by Wike and his loyalists in the house without the interest of the masses.
Yeah, but Fubara should know better. Like you said, many of us, and I believe some of our viewers here would not have any sympathy towards Fubara. He knew this and he went into it because in terms of who controls the budget and all these things, this is history in Nigeria. At least I'm quoting 20 years ago. As at 2005, this was the case in Rivers State. Even in the case of Chris Ngige came to state television and said, "Oh, look at what they are saying. They want to take so portion of the state budget."
Yeah.
But has Fubara had the guts to come out and say, "This is what this man is looking for"?
I think we should.
He has said it. He has said nobody. You should not hand the 700 billion IGR of Rivers State to anybody. What else do you want him to say?
No, he needs to.
that means it's implying that
No. Why else do you want him? I said it. The agreement is who controls that money.
But he knew that this was going to happen. At least he would. Rivers people this is not to insult your intelligence. But I don't want to believe that Fubara is not a student of history, because it has happened in Nigeria. I just made mention of the one of Chris Ngige, and from his experience, he's an accountant.
But using what you said, at the end justifies the.
And he went into such agreement.
If going by what you say, the end justifies the means, and Fubara as a politician, that means it is in line with that idiom that he should accept whatever Wike says to get into there. Then that's what I mean.
So you now agree with Elder here that there shouldn't be sympathy.
I don't have a sympathy. I don't have sympathy. You asking why was he going by history? He should have known that there's always a problem. He shouldn't have agreed with that. Sometimes the problem we have is that when you are cutting a deal with the devil, sometimes you think you are going to outsmart the devil.
Exactly.
That's always the case.
Don't you think Fubara must be making mistake to think that he will outsmart Wike?
Every person cutting a deal with the devil, thinking that you outsmart the devil, is making a mistake.
And Fubara has made the mistake.
Well, unfortunately for him, I don't have sympathy for him. What I said, I don't have sympathy for Fubara is how could you For the election was, this is 2026, 3 years now. He has literally 1 year to go.
Yeah.
Since then, no House member is on your side. You have not been able to get a single House member over to your side.
Yeah, because he did not buy their nomination form.
So how should I have sympathy for that kind of a man? You are the chief executive of the state, and this man is still exerting maximum power over you. You can't even you guys have been sharing this money, stealing. That's the case. You can't even use it to convince your House of Assembly members.
I saw Wike recently going about on will I call it local government tour of Rivers State, and he met I think Asari Dokubo the other day. I saw the recent pictures that they took. I believe that Fubara should have been doing some of those things.
That's why I say I don't have sympathy for him. He's even so naive that I don't know. He's waiting to be kicked out.
Exactly.
He's waiting to be kicked out.
They even insulted him to the extent that I learned that the letter they wrote him about this impeachment, that they called him madam. No, they called him madam. They said it is to level insult on him that he's not able to do anything.
No,
he can't do anything.
Now, if that's the true content of the letter, not be everything you see on social media. If that's actually what they wrote, then you should ignore the letter because it wasn't properly addressed to you.
As a governor.
As a governor.
And even if
so much
instead of calling him His Excellency. Honestly, I read that they use the word madam.
Because I don't believe people I see on social media. But if they call him madam, they are justified though. Because the way he's behaving like a madam.
he's behaving like a madam in politics. But when you look at, we have analyzed to an extent what is happening in Rivers State. If you look at the case of PDP, Wike have single-handedly put PDP to rest. And for him to be able to work with the person of Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, it tells you of how strong Wike is in Nigerian politics today. You cannot do without Wike in terms of Nigerian politics. Don't you think that Wike is still a great man in Nigerian politics?
How? Let me tell you something. When you say he single-handedly destroyed PDP, I don't want to buy that argument. Because what happens in Nigeria is politicians are always looking for who they think will win the election. And they queue behind you and make you win the election so that you give them appointment. So if you check those people who are currently in APC, where were they before now? Just have a mental picture. All of them. And they are all only looking for people when they do the permutation who will win the election. So we can, for all that he does, he cannot say he single-handedly destroyed PDP and made the Tinubu governor. How many? President. What is the number of votes from Rivers State? When you look at the permutation, I made this argument: Nigerians vote along ethnic line, religious line. These are the lines Nigerians vote for.
What about stomach infrastructure?
The stomach infrastructure, very, very, also very, very important. Then, and when you saw the ethnic lineup, the religious lineup, and so on, I predicted that Tinubu, with the rigging they did, is going to win. So Wike, he could have also won without Tinubu. Without Wike. So let's
No, I doubt he would have won. Remember that the Rivers vote was very, very critical. And Wike delivered it to Tinubu. I believe that without those Rivers votes, that Tinubu wouldn't have won.
Well, he's won. He's now the chief executive of the country. He can easily do away with Wike if he wants.
And it tells you how strong he is, because when we are talking about Rivers State here, remember in Edo State, when Oshomole and Obaseki were having their political issues, Oshomole's camp swore that Obaseki will never become governor in Edo State. it was this same Wike that went to Edo State
and did the voting.
Oh, well, he did his political magic.
There's no political magic.
He did his political magic.
He went to Edo State and did the voting.
Well,
before he went to Edo State people were telling her that Soshomole, Edo no be Lagos. Did you hear that during the campaign?
Well,
Edo no be Lagos. What they meant is here, Godfatherism doesn't
work.
But yes, Edo no be Lagos.
Yeah.
Remember, Adam Soshomole brought in Tinubu, who is a strong political national politician in Nigeria. Shomole brought in Tinubu, and Wike came in and did Wike magic.
What magic did he do in Edo State? Let's be real. Let's be practical. Put that magic.
The magic on the table. He was prepared to spend them all.
Does he have more money than Tinubu? That Tinubu
having more
Tinubu
money
has,
is different.
No, Henry, don't ascribe him to power that he does not have. Don't arrogate the power that he doesn't have to him.
I'm giving you.
State people queued behind Obaseki in revolt against Godfatherism. Yeah. Not because of Wike.
Then Wike projecting Obaseki, is that not Godfatherism?
No. He meant because he moved to a PDP, they only queued behind him as a then PDP governor. Yeah, but as a PDP candidate, let me say that word. So they queued behind him. He did no magic. No, I'm not happy the kind of power you are arrogating to him.
Well, you may not be happy, but we are looking at the facts of the matter here. Because he did that, remember, he did that earlier. Then when Obaseki felt that he's now the governor, that he has all the control, in the last election, he told Obaseki, it was through me that you made it. And if you think you can't do with me, then your candidate is not making it anywhere. And Obaseki said again, it don't be Abuja. It don't be Lagos. What happened? He did everything he did. Wike told him, do everything you will do. That APC candidate will be governor. And it was achieved. And he did that in Delta State as well.
You are relying on Wike's words so much. There have been antecedents of Wike saying something and going against it. I will never leave PDP.
Has he left PDP?
He's left PDP.
There's no evidence that Wike left PDP.
Action speaks louder than voice.
Well, other people.
I said I will never serve in PDP in the APC government.
No, he said he didn't say that. He said he would never join APC. Let me
tell you something.
He's a man that goes to his word.
In the run-up to the election, Obaseki had his issues, had his problems. There were so many issues. He was not performing. The House of Assembly of Edo State was not inaugurated. There were so many issues. So he had so many challenges that whoever he's supporting would not have made it, successfully. It was just like what happened when Obama was contesting presidency. George Bush was the president. The economy was so bad that George Bush did not even go to one day and say, vote for John McCain. He did not, because he knew the implication of what that was what happened.
People just wanted a change.
Yes. So don't just give him that he's the alter ego, he's the ultimate, he's the all powerful person.
Well, I think when somebody has done something that we could see, we should acknowledge.
What has he done that we see?
He did it in River State. He did it in Edo State. He went to Delta State. He did it in Delta State. When APC were running, he went to Bayelsa. He did it in Bayelsa State.
Let me ask you, why didn't he do it in other states?
Because he didn't have.
Why didn't he do it in other states?
I believe if Wike had interest in Abia State, it would have given you a different result.
I don't think so. Abia was so annoyed with APC and PDP because of. I think I will link it to what Wike did in. I think Obibo.
Yeah.
Abia didn't actually. In fact, it was seen that Wike was against Ndibo. That's how
he came out and denied that he's not from Igbo. His name is Wike. It means small. I don't know how he described it. He said he denied his having anything.
Yes.
Sorry.
So Abia was never going to allow anything about Wike, who denies his roots, to win there.
Well, for political purposes, people can deny their root. And for political purposes, after all, the former dear president, Muhammadu Buhari, for him to win election.
Also in Imo State, PDP lost election in Imo State. If he's that powerful.
Well, because he didn't have interest in Imo. So if he came to Imo State, he would have done something. But if
I don't think it's that powerful.
Yeah, I don't think so.
check every place, a party that have a former vice president in Nigeria. Wike came in there and said, this is how this party is going to run because the national chairman did not follow our agreement. The presidential candidate did not follow our agreement. Even when people were saying, that Wike never supported P2B. But when Wike was fighting PDP during that time, he was even fighting the interests of P2B in PDP then, because Wike
has nobody's interest at heart. No interest, no peace.
Only his own.
The fight he was putting up in PDP was to be the vice presidential candidate. Wike has nobody's interest at heart. It's his own selfish interest.
Well, if you say so,
and he even said it. He said it on his phone call with I don't know who he had, the popular phone call he had. He was saying that this is his interest. This is where his votes will go. Is towards his interest.
Yeah.
Yes, he said it. So I very, very, very much believe that Wike has his interest, just like Doc said. His interest at heart, and nobody else.
That's nobody's interest. When you say because he's not interested in Imo State or blah blah blah, it's because he doesn't. He talks. It's only what favors him that he does. What favors him, that's what he does. So he's not that powerful. It's just people have been so impoverished that if they see anybody that can give them 10 kg of rice like they were sharing in this Christmas, they queue behind him. All those people that they were gathering in River State when he was doing his talk, about crowds, they go and give them so uniform for them and people will come and be singing on his behalf. Is that how society works?
That's not how society works.
Should move forward.
That's not how society works.
Talking about him. Honestly, it makes me very angry.
That's because he's a Nigerian politician. That's why. And I understand now that he said he will never be a minister. So if Wike said he will never be a minister, and he has been FCT minister for almost 3 years now,
yeah.
I don't think Wike, anything he says, any attention should be paid to it.
Well, when somebody made a joke, I know it's not okay, Bakasi, but somebody made a joke that if you want to believe the word of a politician, like when you say that Wike said that he's not going to be a politician, and you want to believe it, you are as good as believing that that Ashawo is a virgin.
The type of language you use here. This is new year.
I'm saying it on code because something like that. So it tells you the what and how you want to see the words of a politician, because remember, in politics there is no permanent friend.
Yeah,
there is no permanent enemy.
In Nigerian politics,
in every politics.
In fact, that is exactly what I hate about politics, and those in politics that say that when you don't have a permanent friend, you don't have a permanent enemy, the people you have, the only thing you have is a permanent interest. Yeah. That means you shouldn't be a friend of mine. Personally, I should have nothing to do with you because you are only with me because of the interest that you are deriving from me. That's why. And there's some have been present where I've listened, not present, where some politicians of high moral caliber renounce that adage, because at the end of the day it shows that you can't be trusted.
Nigerian politicians cannot be trusted.
Exactly.
Especially the man we are talking about now. Believe him at your own risk.
I've given you I've told you what a comedian said about trusting a politician. Because
let me ask you one question. When do you think that is a virtue for all politicians? Do you know who P2B is? Former governor of Anambra State.
Yes, we all know him.
Can you believe him? Can you trust what he tells you?
Well, if P2B...
He's a politician, you agree on that?
So if P2B speaks to me as a business person, I will trust him to an extent. And if he speaks to me as a philosopher he is, I will trust him to an extent. But if he speaks to me
as a politician,
I will put him where I put Wike.
So what kind of language?
You need to apologize to our viewers. You need to apologize to our viewers.
There's no way you can compare Peter Obi with Wike.
Harry, you need to apologize on this point. Comparing Wike and Peter Obi.
No.
This is
as a politician.
This is a sacrilege.
If Wike is a politician and Peter Obi is a politician, and Tinubu is a politician, and Rochas is a politician, and they give me their words as politicians, I will take their words as politicians, irrespective of the current governor of Benue State is a priest, right?
Even by virtue of his calling, he's not allowed to be in politics. So that tells you all you need to know about him.
But when the governor earlier, with due respect, if he speaks to me as a priest, I will trust him as a priest. But if he speaks to me as a politician, I will put him in the same place I put Wike.
Do you know the problem there? When we are in the university, we notice that most of the time, not all the time, those who are interested in politics are those who are not interested in studying, those who are truants, those who don't attend classes, those who, yes, most of the, and that graduated into national politics. Then you before you know it, you will see that the NANS president might not actually be somebody who is interested in academics. Today, most of those that I know are from my own set that are in Nigerian national politics are those who are through us in class. So,
man, I would disagree with you.
I know. That's why I said most. That's why I said most, because I know that doctor himself was the president. That's why I said most. As far as I am concerned, there is no way somebody like Wike would have been a very, very good student.
I don't know I mean,
there's no way.
I don't know what he graduated
at least by the time he was graduating in the army, that military officer was still in primary school. So, according to what the information
that was graduating from law school.
From law school.
That is out there. By the time he was graduating from law school, So, but let's, as we try to summarize, we have to get something serious. And I believe you that is following us and you are watching this analysis we are doing here. Remember, we don't hold anything to heart, but we provide you with the facts and leave you to think about what the fact says for itself. Now, there is something we need to know here. We've talked about, the state treasury, the national treasury, people's money. All this money you are talking about, River State takes home every month billions upon billions of naira from IGR, from federal allocation, and other derivation. Is it the 13% derivation? And all this money. And two men with their cohort are fighting to pocket this money. You begin to ask yourself, as a Nigerian, as that person from River State, whose interest are they representing at this stage? I'm saying this because it resonates with me. By the time I was leaving my house to come to the studio this evening, when I got to the door, I saw a letter that was posted through the door. And when you look at this letter, it says the Scottish Parliament. This letter was sent by a representative elected by the people. This letter, when I opened it on my way, and it is showing me this representative sent out the stewardship of what he has achieved over the past 4 years. And the applications and the interest he has supported over the period, that the UK government have now allocated about 20 million pounds for the development of the area he represents. It was written in this letter here. This is a self-directed letter from a member of parliament representing a local community in Nigeria. And on that letter, he's stating what those money will be used for.
He's holding himself accountable.
He's holding himself accountable.
I think what we'll do, we post this thing on the page. I think that will be so that our subscribers will see what we're talking about. We're talking about facts and figures. We put this thing up.
So if you look at here, it says 18,033 constituent inquiries responded to. 1,111 written questions asked. 2,100 contributions in parliament. This person is not coming to channels or BBC or whatever to talk about how the governor is giving them their Christmas bonus.
Exactly.
People's money. Giving them governor buying car for a judge. Where is he getting money to buy a car for a judge like Wike did?
Exactly.
You will be buying car for judges. You that is a judge that is taking a car from a governor. You have your salary. You have your extra codes.
Exactly.
You are sharing in the looting of people's fund.
Absolutely.
But the question is, you as an individual, you as a Nigerian, you as a Riverian, somebody from River State, how much do you know that all these SUVs, all this Christmas money that a sitting House of Assembly member is coming to a national TV to talk about? This money that your governor is sharing to individuals. Those are monies that are meant to provide you regular electricity, a good healthcare system, good road. Do you have good road? Do you have security?
Quality hospitals.
Do you have quality hospitals?
None.
Do you have good standard of living? Can you afford to buy food from the market?
No safety net for any eventuality.
At all.
Nothing. And they are busy sharing this money. It beats my imagination when they call you and sew uniform for you and give you cap.
Exactly.
And you come to their gathering and they are saying all sorts of things and you're clapping. And don't know how much you think what they are saying benefits you. It may surprise you tomorrow that Wike and Fubara will sort themselves out somewhere.
Exactly.
But you have lost your state fund. Exactly. You have lost your healthcare. You've lost your education. You've lost your social infrastructure. You have nothing. You are sick and you don't have somewhere to go and treat yourself. And you are dying and they are putting their children as senators, legislators and all these things. They are buying land. The same Wike, sorry, I've been saying good about the Wike. The same Wike, somebody alleged that he was allocating land to a young boy, his son.
25 years old.
In Abuja. How many of you, 25 years old, can afford to buy a grass in Abuja? And you are gathering on their, where they come and tell you all sorts of things, and you go home with it. I'm giving you evidence here of somebody showing stewardship. And this is what we are supposed to learn from this kind of conversation. It's important we look into all this.
I think I need to say my pattern words. In fact, you've said it all, though, but I want to tell our viewers that they are not in charge. There are viewers in Nigeria. You are not in charge of anything. You cannot hold anybody accountable. The other day, I learned that our sister, Chimamanda, that she lost her son.
Yeah,
and somebody,
21 months,
21-month-old boy. Somebody posted that Nigeria has happened to that child.
Yeah.
You understand? And I read something. I don't know whether it's true or not, but you know this social media. I read somewhere where she was accusing the hospital for contributing to the child's death. Yeah. So at the end of the day, Nigeria happened to her. So when you continue to vote for this kind of politicians, Nigeria will one day happen to you. So the best thing for you to do is to do whatever is possible to stop Nigeria from happening to you. What is it that you will do to stop Nigeria from happening to you? Join hands and end that country called Nigeria. That's what I'm telling you. For us to reach a peaceful dissolution of Nigeria, so that Nigeria will never happen to you. Otherwise, mark it one day. We are all happy. We have entered 2026. Therefore, we have embraced today. But if Nigeria does not end, it will happen to you. And you may not see 2027 with us. So everybody should join hands and stop this weekend and Fubara playing football with your future.
I don't know how many of us would agree with this, but the statement is clear, and Mazi have expressed his opinion, and I know you have your own opinion. You can always let us know in the comment section, and we'll follow up with that. I would give way to Elder.
My last statement is this: is Wike and Fubara, they do not have your interests at heart. Whatever you can do to get them out of the scene, out of the equation, vote for the rightful candidates. Do not sell your future. Do not collect 10 kg of rice. Don't collect 4 liters of groundnut oil to sell your entire future, your children's future and your children's future. I may not agree with Mazi on how he wants to avoid Nigeria happening to you. Mine is vote the right candidates, don't sell your future, and Nigeria will not happen to you.
Nigeria will not happen to you. Nigeria will not happen to me this year. We'll see this year through and we'll see many years through. But we have to understand the basic fact. The power does not belong to Wike. The power does not belong to Tinubu. The power does not belong to Fubara. The power belongs to the people. The power belongs to you. We are the people. And that is what democracy is. Power belongs to the people, and the people, or the earlier the people begin to understand that they control the political power, they will begin to ask the right question. Don't let anybody deceive you. We would come to this area of how these politicians are getting this money to loot. And Fubara, if you are listening to me today, I know where part of the money you are looting in that state that you are sharing with House of Assembly members, the evidence is there. I know where it is coming from. You are taking the local government fund that is coming from the federal government and you are using it to play politics and sharing it. But we'll come and do a topic on this. And I will leave you on this note. Remember to send us your comments. Remember to tell us what you think about this episode. And we would catch up in the next episode. Bye for now. I will see you soon.